snowy day here in California. Well, actually it's sunny today, but it snowed a foot at my house. It's really cold outside. It's well, 50 degrees by the transducer you can see on the screen. So what I have set up here is, hopefully this is all focused and everything non-reflect, make sure everything works. Yeah, you can see that good. So I have my trusty red chrono, right? I have, and if I can get it up here, I have my Shocktech Fire Series, the 00 prototype gun, the 000 gun. This is a stock Shocktech Mini. There's been no modifications on this. This is all factory, outside of putting different grip panels on it. And it has the factory barrel with the 683 insert, which I'm shooting Nelson Anarchy paint, which is sizing really nice to the 683. And yes, I still have round Nelson Anarchy paint. And the only thing that I did to it, I have an adapter here for my transducer, and that's what you see on screen. It's set at 302 psi. The IVG, if I can get this to go back, it's 2 turns in from flush, factory setting. And yeah, see, it's 302. We're going to shoot it over the chrono right now. Let's see. Oh, I got to turn the chrono on. 330, 329, 326, 330. So we can say that's pretty consistent, right? So what we're going to do here is we're going to start lowering the pressure the factory way from Shocktech, which is through the regulator. On this, we're going to do that, and I got to get another Allen key. And then we're going to start backing the IVG out a little bit. I'm going to do 1 full revolution out, and we'll see what it is. But hold on a second. Let me get my Allen key. Right here. This is the one I want. Pretty sure this is the one I want. Yeah, that's it. All right. And so my friend Jason Antle from Angry Antle Autocockers, he did a video here. It was yesterday or something like that, and it kind of inspired this video. And to kind of talk about pressures and what these Shocktech guns can do. I know he was doing a different bit, a custom valve in his. But let's just kind of see what the Shocktech rat valve can do. It's all factory. So first thing I do is I'm going to back the IVG out. So I'm going to try to do this without screw the cocking rod. And full disclosure, right? You guys get to see everything. I'm going to put this in here, and I'm going to back it out 1 full turn. That's a half turn. That's pretty much a full turn right there. Put the cocking rod back in. So I can get everything to line up and not be a fool. And you guys still see what the pressure is, so I don't be showing you that every 5 seconds. It's just more for fun. There's a lot of different stuff out there, a lot of theories and stuff like that, and some are correct, some are incorrect. Some clearing shots through there. Let's put it back through the rag. We'll sew at 304. Make sure the gun's flat. 325, 317, 319, 313. Okay, so that's with the IVG out 1 full turn. I'm going to leave it there, okay? And what we're going to do is now we're going to take an 1/8 inch Allen key. We're going to adjust this regular. You're going to see that live on the screen, so I'm going to have to do a couple shots. So we're going to drop it down. We want to get it down to 280 feet per second. So I'm going to turn this in. I got to shoot one through it. 270. We're going to keep going in. Let's see what that is. Let's say, yeah, 244. Let's see what that says. Let's see what pressure we're at, velocity we're at. Alright. 295. 292. Okay, so we're going to keep going down. We're going to get down to 280 feet per second with the factory rat valve and factory springs. The IVG turned in 1 turn from flush. Okay, we're going to kind of get down a little bit lower here. Do a clearance shot. Oh, that's 220 psi. It's a good number to sit on, right? 220. Let's see what it's shooting at 220. Oh, 273, 278, 272, 276. We're going to bring it up just a smidgen. We want it right at 280. So 225, let's see what that is. All right. 286, 280, 281, 282. All right, there you go. 224. We'll just say on the safe side of business, 225 psi at 280 feet per second. That's with the IBGN one turn from flush. That's for shoots and giggles. Let's back it out one more turn, almost flush. Right at almost flush. Don't recommend this. I like to have a little bit of viewing on there. Let's bring this back up here so you can see me doing this. There's a half. There's a full. And it's definitely not flush. I mean, yeah, I'm literally about a 16th of an inch. Or not a 16th, like a, it's just right there. It's just almost beyond flush, but it's right at flush. So this is all the way out. So this is going to be the least amount of pressure on that spring before you would have to do something else. So this is, we're about 223 to 225 psi. It's 49 degrees. Okay, 278, 283, 279, 272, 272, 279, 270, 282. And that's some variances. So I would say we're probably 275-ish. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it back to factory settings. Okay, so I'm going to take this IBG out. Factory settings on the IBG. Alright, so we're going to go 2 turns in. So we backed it out essentially 1. So there's 1 turn. There's 2 turns. Put the cocking rod back in. Let's screw it on. I do like Shocktech engineering thoughts, how they do this stuff. Now granted, this is a mini with a volumizer. Do some clearing shots. Alright, so now we're at 224 psi. Let's go over the chrono again. Make sure I'm nice and level. 280, 278, 279, 274, 283, 278, 274, 270, 287. So I would say we're right at 280. Okay, 280 psi at, or 280 feet per second at 224, 225 psi. This is with a highly accurate pressure transducer, folks. Highly accurate. It's no joke. It's super accurate. Now, yes, I maybe gained a little bit of volume here. It's not going to affect anything. It's really about springs, and that's about 90% of it. Springs, sometimes regulator. But the whole point of this is, let me see if I can make my screen bigger. Well, I'm going to try to, nah, I'm not going to worry about it. You guys can see that, oh, and let's for shoots and giggles, I'm going to pull the barrel off, and let's see how the balls, it's cold out here, so the balls could have shrunk. Okay, you guys see, I just pulled the barrel off. The ball is a, it's pretty much a blow through, but that was a little stiff. There it goes. It was on edge. There we go. So it's right at the, I can just tap it in, blow it out. So it's got a little bit of football, so I think on those edges that it was kind of loose down there, that was the lower velocity, and the edges where there was tight going down, there was the higher velocity. But just put this in here again. So everything, this one just for giggles. 278, 282, 285, 282, 78. Yeah, I would say on average 280 there at 224 psi. Factory Shocktech at factory settings. The IBG's in at two turns from flush. The regulator is set at 224 psi. I have a good paint to barrel match. Factory everything else. So, what's the moral of this story? companies like Shocktech, Inception Designs, aka Palmer's when they were building stuff, War Games, they had it figured out. They had it. They built a system around a set of springs that they felt was the best for their valve, for their setup, and how they wanted everything to function together. And yes, you can go, and someone's going to say, well, did you sweet spot that? Why are you doing all the adjustment from the regulator? Well, that's how Shocktech, the manufacturer of these lowers, wants you to operate their system. The reason being with Shocktech is they don't want the tournament player to have to disassemble their marker at the chrono and then risk not having it assembled by just taking the cocking rod out, having it assembled completely back right where it was. They want it, the only thing you adjust is that little 1/8 inch Allen on that regulator. And that's from their years of playing tournaments, and with all different players, they felt that's the best system that they wanted to come up with, so there was the least chance of error. They took error out of the equation as much as possible. And AK, back in the day, the low pressure experts, they were the same thing. You look at the tornado valve and you read the instructions on it. Tornado valve says operate, put these yellow springs in Nelson yellow springs, and set the regulator to 0, put the IVG in, so far, and then start increasing the pressure on the regulator until you get to your velocity. They said do everything off the velocity. If you had a Merlin, like a Splat-Attack Merlin, it didn't have a velocity adjuster on the back. It had a very gross velocity adjuster. It had a plug that had 4 locations of holes of how far that plug set in, and it was held in by the beaver tail screw. And that was it. You never adjusted off the back. It was really nice. That's why I always really liked them. But anyway, let's look at this again, just to kind of let it sink in. Okay, we're at 224 psi. Oh, 281, 287, 279, 286. I'd say we're about 281 feet per second at 224 psi. So if everyone's wondering what their guns are running at, this is consistent with Shocktech all day long, consistent. And there isn't any need to go out and buy another fancy valve. If it came with a valve, run it. It will work great, unless the valve is destroyed. And when I say about Shocktech valves, is the seal is replaceable, unlike on like a War Games where those urethane seals, they're starting to crack. They're starting to just go bad through age, and they're not making them anymore. So this is a replaceable seal. You can cut it out of a 1/16 of an inch nylon sheet. You can cut it yourself with a pair of scissors if you want to, and a a nice little hole punch. But anyway, that's it. Docfire out. Hope this is entertaining. I sure think it is. All right, have a good one.